This is the most authentic me you're probably ever going to get. I really just don't care about the politics of hockey. It's the slump. It's the slump. Don't blame me. It is truly the slump. This reading slump is really kicking my ass, guys. I kid you not. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina, and I'm in a reading slump. Yeah, it's not looking too good for me out here, guys. I can feel myself slowly but surely slumping, and it's been getting me really like upset because I feel like I've been on a good pace in the first half of the year. Usually during this time of the year, there's a lull in my reading pace, but I really don't want that to be the case this year because so far I've been slowly but surely falling back in love with reading this year, especially because of like how much I've been reading. Like, I just really don't want to stop that, but I also don't want to force myself at the same time. So I basically wanted to turn on this camera and just do a casual reading vlog with you guys. Okay, there's gonna be like no theme to this. I think if I just read a little bit at a time, like every day, I could probably get some pacing going. I did not read at all last week. Like for a full week, I did not pick up a single book. I started one audiobook, which I will talk about later, but I haven't been able to read anything physically, and I really don't want that to become a habit throughout the summer. So we're going to continue reading in this vlog, and I'm hoping I could finish at least one book, at least one physical book or a book on my Kindle. I'm not really picky, but I do miss reading, which is always like the worst feeling because how do you miss something that your body and brain are just literally like pushing away? I'm in the middle of like several books, and a lot of the books are ones that you guys know I'm in the middle of because again, it's been a full week since I read anything. So the previous vlog, the reading vlog that you guys saw last week, nothing has changed from that. I'm still in the middle of the same books, still reading The Vampire Lestat by Anne Rice. I'm halfway in it at this point. I was not aware that this book was almost like 500 pages long. So yeah, we're just gonna take our fine time with this. As of the time I'm recording though, the first episode of the season is out and I have watched it, and I'm definitely gonna need some context before I continue on with the rest of the season as it comes out because I'm very lost and I would like to know more. So I will be trying to read this throughout the vlog, so not that much different from the previous vlog. Oh, I'm currently in the middle of the audiobook for The Heirs by Farida Abike-Ayimade, the author of Ace of Spades, one of my favorite books, as you guys know. I praise that book as many times as I can, and she recently released a new YA fiction that's kind of like The Umbrella Academy. If you guys know that show, if you're familiar, kind of has the same premise of like 5 gifted kids adopted by some weird old man, and that weird old man is their father figure but also makes sure that like they continue to be the best at what they're good at throughout their lives. So like say one is really good with instruments, one is very good at athletics, one is like low-key a genius in mathematics and science and stuff like that, you know, like each kid is good at something, and this man, their adoptive father, adopted them so that he can use this as an experiment to see if like should actually go back and check. I don't know why he did this. Basically, if you've seen the Umbrella Academy show, you would know how the plot thickens. It's not a spoiler because it happens at the beginning of the book. It literally tells you, but their adoptive father ends up dying somehow, some way, and these 5 kids are trying to figure out how he did it because they all have motive against him, but they all say that they didn't do it. So it's kind of like a whodunit type of thing. You're in all of the characters' point of views. I will say the narrator for the audio is so good because there's only one narrator and he's playing all of these voices from like the kids to the adoptive dad to the side characters, and he's like making it so easy to follow along. He makes every character's voice so distinct. Torian Brackett, yeah, I'm like 32% into this and he's making it very easy. So I really appreciate that. The last time I talked to you, I was in the middle of Lavender and Hemlock. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think I'm gonna have to like currently put that on pause because I'm just not in the mood for that. I didn't really get that much farther into it since the last time I saw you, but I feel like it's a cozy fantasy just from the vibes I'm getting from the characters to the setting to like the romance of it all. And I know in my heart that that's not going to get me out of a reading slump. I'm rarely ever in the mood for cozy fantasy anyway, let alone like when I'm on the verge of just not reading. So I'm going to put a pause on that one and pick it up when I'm more so in the mood for it. As a placeholder, we can start on my recent library hold that just got its way back to me. I recently put The Will of the Many on hold at the library. Recently, as in like over a month ago. I low-key forgot that I put this on hold. I got notified that it is available for me to read, and it's been in my Kindle library for like 2 days and I have not picked it up. So we're going to start that in this vlog as well. As you can see, many books that I'm in the middle of, none of them have been finished. This is again just going to be really casual as I can make it be. Like, I'm really not trying to strive for any goals. I know what I'm in the mood for. I know what I'm capable of getting through. I need to like find the will to read it, you know? So yeah, welcome to this vlog. I hope that you guys enjoy it, and yeah, I'll update you guys later when I am reading literally anything. Hey guys, I am still reading The Vampire Lestat. It's the next day. I didn't really read much of anything yesterday. I maybe read like 1 or 2 pages of this book and then I put it down because I was just like not feeling it. So I've been reading a little bit this morning, and I'm pausing mid-chapter on The Vampire Lestat, which is something I never do. I never stop mid-chapter, you guys know this. But I've gotten several notifications in like the past 20 minutes from Libby. Remember when I said that I put The Will of the Many on hold and it became available to me? Well, I put many books on hold like a while ago, and I guess Libby just felt the need to alert me that they were all available at the same time. So I have many library holds to start within the next like week. I usually like to read like 1 or 2 library books per month. I like to make use of my library, I do, but I try to spread out my holds evenly. But if the wait is long enough and it's like weeks out before I get the book, then I kind of lose track of how many books I have on hold all at once because they're not in my possession yet to read them. Now that I have 3 different books in my holds, I feel like I need to do some prioritizing. I feel like we should just make this a vlog of me just reading all of my library books that are available to me, because there are 3 now. So like I said, there's The Will of the Many by James Islington, which I do still want to read at some point in this vlog. But then we also have Us Against You by Frederick Bachman, and you guys know, if you are new here then you don't, but you guys know Beartown was my first 5-star read of the year, and I was immediately like, I need to read the sequel. So I put a hold on Us Against You as soon as I finished Beartown, and you guys know I finished that book like back in March. That's how long I've been waiting for this book. So I really do want to start that ASAP. But then we also have Cobalt Red by Siddharth Kara, How the Blood of the Congo Powers Our Lives. I've mentioned wanting to read this book. I think I mentioned it in my storygraph TBR video. I'm just really interested in trying to understand like what the people of Congo are going through because of international power. And so I put this on hold a while back. As you can see, I put all of these on hold a while back, and now they are all available to me. So why don't we just like kind of make this library checkout reading vlog, you know? Granted, I don't have any of these books physically. I do really enjoy Libby because I can just attach those books onto my Kindle and read it from there. But yeah, I usually do not pause mid-chapter on a book. I think I'm gonna have to. Maybe I'll finish this chapter of The Vampire Lestat because I'm on a really good part of the book. If I'm being honest, I really don't want to stop. I feel like I'm finally at the part of the book where things are picking up in terms of like present day Lestat and past Lestat. So I really don't want to stop, but seeing all of those library holds available to me at once makes me a little anxious because they're all going to be due at the same time. So yeah, I think I'm going to finish this chapter and then we can decide which book I want to start from the library, because that literally all just happened in the span of like 20 minutes. I got both Us Against You and Cobalt Red back to back, and I was like, okay. Welcome to a new day of this vlog. It is currently 2 o'clock. It's still early in the day. I have the day off, so I was really just planning on doing nothing except reading today. So this works out just perfectly, but I don't know what I want to read. So I'll get back to you guys later. Yeah, we can definitely pick out which library book I think I'm in the mood for to start first in this video. Okay, let's discuss. I need to get to the bottom of what I'm going to be starting from my library holds, because I feel like I already explained this, but like getting multiple holds at once, the anxiety just like spikes through me. I seriously do try to spread them out so that I don't have to feel like I'm on a constant deadline and that I feel like I need to read my library holds immediately. But if a hold is available, a hold is available. That's just how the library works. If I'm being honest, I kind of already have an idea of what I want to choose, and I think it is probably going to be Us Against You by Frederick Bachman, simply because The Will of the Many, it seems like it's going to be a lot. Like, it's a very thick book, and I'm currently reading kind of like a fantasy horror book right now with The Vampire Lestat, and I feel like balancing those two books out just wouldn't work in my mind right now. You guys know when I read multiple books at once, which is something I've been getting back into this year, when I do read multiple books at the same time, I try to make sure that they're different genres so nothing is overlapping in my brain, whether that be like the world building, the magic of it all, blah blah blah. Granted, The Vampire Lestat is not technically labeled as a fantasy. None of the Vampire Chronicle books are. They're all labeled as horror books, but obviously they have the fantasy element of including vampires, and they do have its like own specific magic system, and I know that The Will of the Many does not have that. I think it is like somewhat of a dystopian with fantasy elements. I don't think I should read them at the same time. So because of that, The Will of the Many is not getting started, but I do think I should start that very soon because of how long that book is. It might take me a long time because of the mood I'm in, the reading mood I'm in specifically. I feel like it's going to take me longer than I think to read that. And then with Cobalt Red, usually try to do nonfiction on audio because I'm not really the biggest fan of reading nonfiction physically or digitally. Like, it just makes me lose my interest really fast. And so I tried to look for an audiobook for Cobalt Red that was available at my library. I couldn't find one, so I did have to just put the book on hold, the digital book on hold. And because of that, I'm kind of like I'm interested in the book obviously, but I'm not really interested in reading it in this specific format right now. I feel like I need to be in a really specific mood to pick Cobalt Red up, and I'm just not in that mood at the moment. So that just leaves us with Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. Like I said, looking forward to this. I put this on hold immediately after I finished Beartown because I have a feeling that this might be another 5-star read for me. I was obsessed with Beartown after I read it. Everything from like the story to the characters to even like Frederick Bachman's writing style. At first I was very put off by it, but then as I continued reading it, everything just kind of folded together really well. And I think I'm just really excited to get back into the world of Beartown and follow these characters that I grew to love in the first book. So yeah, I'm very excited. I know that this book is a little longer than Beartown. I think that each book in this trilogy gets longer and longer. I don't know how much longer it is, like how many more pages it is compared to Beartown, but either way, I'm excited. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe try to get through at least 10% of it today, because there is stuff I do need to do today, like outside of just reading. I need to do stuff later, so I'm not gonna try to like make a big dent into it, but I do just want to dip my toes back into Beartown and what my characters are doing, and also just get familiarized with Frederick Bachman's writing again, because I haven't read any of his other stuff since I picked up Beartown. Though I'm very curious and interested in reading his other books. I wanted the Beartown trilogy to be the first set of books from him I've read, since I'm already connected to that world. But I feel like Frederick Bachman's writing style, you need to like really kind of get used to it and get into it immediately or else like it's not going to like click with you. Even though again I loved his writing style, it took me a while to get back into it, and I fear that that's gonna have to be the same way for the sequel maybe, because again I don't know if I'm really in the mood to be reading any of these right now because of the reading slump that I'm in. So I'm just gonna see, I'm gonna figure it out, and yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, we're officially starting Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. So it's like 2 days later. Hi guys, it's Saturday. I did not update you guys at all yesterday and I feel so bad. But here's the thing, right? You've missed nothing. You've missed nothing. Okay, I didn't even read yesterday. Let me explain. I had work all day yesterday and I came home to the worst headache in the world and I had no left in me to give other than like to nap and then to watch the Love Island episode last night. Okay, I had no brain capacity to actually read last night or any time yesterday. So I didn't record anything. There was no update to give you. I'm sorry. No excuses. No excuses. I should have read something yesterday. I can admit that I should have. If I really want to get out of this slump, then I really do need to actively try to read something every day. But my brain wouldn't let me. Guys, my brain wouldn't let me. But with that being said, it's a brand new day. And I just got off of work again, still very early in the day. And I'm not gonna lie, I do have plans today. My friend is coming over again, DJ, and we're gonna finish Interview with the Vampire today because we didn't finish the last time that we talked in a previous vlog, and so that's what we're gonna do, okay? But she's not here yet. There's still time. So I want to talk to you guys a bit about Us Against You by Frederick Bachman, the sequel to Beartown, because I did start it, okay? I did not get 10% into it. I think I'm like 5%. I just wanted to tell you guys, based off of the few chapters I have read, I feel so back at home with these characters because it kind of just like dives right back in to the event that you left off on in the previous book, and I really like that. Like there's little to no time jump. The book took place in like, I think the spring of the school year, and now we are like towards the end of or the start of the summer in this book, so there hasn't been much time passed and the characters are still actively going through the emotions that they are feeling because of the events that happened before. So to be back in like characters' heads, like Maya, my heart, to be back there and see how the town is still recovering, and like the way that Frederick Bachman writes about these characters to make them feel so real. As soon as I picked up the book, I was in it. Like guys, I'm not lying, I was in it. And then I like, because I started it like 2 days ago towards like the nighttime, I did end up falling asleep, but I'm gonna pick it back up again, okay? I love the thing that Frederick Bachman does in his books though, where he's foreshadowing to how the book is gonna end. You just need to stay along for the ride to figure out how you get there in the first place, okay? And at first, when I read Beartown, you guys know I was very iffy about like the pacing of the story, the way it was written. I didn't understand why we were focusing so heavily on characters that seem like, you know, the traditional side characters, okay? That's like why you have to stick with the story, because no one is really a side character in Beartown. Everyone in this town matters to some extent and they all add to the overarching story. It's a lot. Like as soon as you open the book, it's a lot. So I'm really enjoying it. Like the foreshadowing of how it's going to end is making me really scared because I don't know. Like it's like a very vague description of these two characters that are going to be nameless are going to end up in this predicament by the end. Good luck. Like he gives you the most outlandish scenario in the beginning and then he's like, you're gonna get there eventually, but you need to get through like at least 400 pages to find out. It's kind of sick and twisted actually. So I think because he starts his books off like that, they immediately like have you hooked. You get no time to really like get a sense of what's going on. You're immediately just like being foreshadowed the craziness of what these characters are going to get through. So yeah, I'm, like I said, really enjoying it, but I'm only 5% in. So my goal is to read a little bit of it before DJ comes over later. I haven't read anything else at all the past few days. Like, oh, this reading slump is really kicking my ass, guys. I kid you not. I have no words for this, but we're gonna try. I also have not been reading my audiobook, The Heirs, because I lost my earbuds a few days ago at work. Yeah, I know. Remember when I got those earbuds like a little over 2 months ago? Yeah, I lost them again. So I could only listen to it in my car. I haven't really made a dent in that book either. So like there's really been no real way or no time really for me to read anything. We're gonna do that now. I'm back home. It's a Saturday. I have the rest of the day really, well not the rest of the day, but at least the next hour or two to lock in with this book. So that's what we're gonna do. Sorry that I skipped a day or two, but we are so back. We're so back. Don't even worry about it. So it's like a few days later. It's no one else's fault but mine. I would just like to say though, I have been very busy the last few days. Okay, today is Monday. We're gonna add a few more days onto this vlog because I really feel like I've given you guys little to nothing about like my reading experience, and I'm gonna let you know I have not really been reading much over the weekend. Sorry. It's the slump. Don't blame me. It is truly the slump. But I'm gonna try to read some today. I was just really busy over the weekend. I had stuff to do. I was hanging out with people. I was trying to go outside. Love Island is back, and that really does take up a big part of my schedule. If you watch Love Island, you know, like it's a daily schedule for 6 weeks. You gotta make time. The real tea of why I'm in a slump is truly because a lot of shows that I am into right now are back on television. I have like 4 shows that I'm following at the moment, at least 4. So a lot of good television is back. And so my head's not in a book, but I'm forcing it. Okay. I'm forcing it. I am 15% into Us Against You. Okay. Progress. I'm mostly reading it at work though. I always get confused when I do that kind of thing because it's not like I don't have time to read when I'm at home. I'm just never in the mood because my TV is like right in front of me and like my books are in my bag, and yeah. So yeah, I'm 15% into that book. So I have been reading, just not as much as I want. I will say I'm enjoying the book as I thought I would. I really can't stress how much I adore Frederick Bachman's writing style. It makes me feel like I need to lock in. The way that he writes, nothing is fast paced, nothing is like point blank period to the point. You need to pay attention. You need to understand these characters in and out. Every character detail is going to explain why things move forward the way that they do, everything that he foreshadows in context of different scenes, and it's just all some of like my favorite things that I have read in a book as of late. So I'm really enjoying it, but I do think, and this might be chaotic of me, because I really shouldn't be starting another book, but I need to start another library book. The fact that I have 3 in my Kindle library is stressing me out. I know it doesn't give stress because I haven't been reading, but I do want to get to these. I want to get to all of these before I need to give them back to my library. So I think I'm going to start The Will of the Many. I don't know if I'll start it tonight. I have 2 hours until Love Island, guys, so I do have time. I'll finish the chapter I'm in the middle of in Us Against You, but I do think I want to start The Will of the Many because that book is very long, and I don't think I should be putting it off as like the last book I read from the library. I don't think that's the case. Again, I picked up Us Against You just so I can get back into the vibe that Frederick Bachman gives me, and I thought that that would be like the easier choice out of all the 3 books that were my options, and it is. I still think that like as like a palate cleanser, as a way to like get back into reading very slowly during this month, I can read that, but I do want to read The Will of the Many, and I don't want to put it off last minute. I don't want to wait until my hold is supposed to be returned. I am going to read, but I have really no real reading updates besides what I'm reading, which is just like Us Against You. It's 15% into the book, so it's like I've made a dent in it, but not enough where I can feel like I can tell you what's going on. There is one character in this book though that's really compelling to me. He's like called the Stranger. He has no name, and I'm just curious to see where he fits into all of this. Obviously it's a brand new character that we don't know, and there's no one new in Beartown. No one visits Beartown who doesn't already live there. Like it's kind of known as like this speck on the world that no one knows about, no one visits. So the fact that there's like some new guy in town and he's referred to as a stranger makes me just want to like continue reading it even more. This is how chaotic I feel whenever I'm in a reading slump, mind you. Like this is the most authentic me you're probably ever going to get, because every summer, without a doubt, for the past few years, I have been unable to really pick up a book without feeling like I'm going stir crazy, because I can never actually like get through it in one go. And that's what this is. Okay, so we're just going along with the journey. You're gonna have to just like follow me. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, again, because I didn't update you guys on Sunday or Saturday. I will extend it a few more days, but I really don't know. I don't know what this is gonna turn into. But thank you for being here. I don't know if I told you that. Like, you're really sweet for sticking around, and I really appreciate you, and please stay until the end. I'll try to make it worth it. I promise. I am gonna finish the chapter I'm in the middle of for Us Against You, and then I will be starting The Will of the Many, just to like get a vibe, you know? So I'll check back in with you guys later. it is the next day. I did not update you last night because I was reading until I went to bed. So that's my excuse. But yeah, it's the next day. I've started The Will of the Many. I don't really know what to say right now. I'm only on chapter 5, so I've barely made a dent into it. I will say I think that this world, very intriguing to me. I have so many questions, but I don't know if they're questions because of like how different the world is and how like I find that to pique my interest, or because I'm just really confused. It could be both. Two things can be true at once, but I have a lot of questions. I started reading this book last night. Like I said, I started reading it right before I watched Love Island, and so my brain was like a fog after I finished watching Love Island. And so when I picked up the book again, I was like, right. From what I've gathered, we are following this guy named Salome. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's an orphan, 17, lives in a society where people take will from each other, like human will, and they give it to people higher in power. It proves your ranking in society. I think that's what we're doing here. I think, and you have to do it once you are an adult. Like that's like a law, and Selim is 17, about to turn 18, and I'm learning about his lore, because one thing I did know when I like was interested in reading this story was that it's low-key like a revenge type of story. Like he wants to get revenge on the society that took everything from him, but that was like the gist. I didn't know anything about the magic system. I don't know exactly what the society is. I didn't know like the rankings of power or anything. I just knew that. So learning to find out why he wants to possibly get revenge on these people, I like it a lot. But yeah, I have nothing to say because I'm only on chapter 5. I just want to update you guys because it is almost noon and I need to start doing stuff outside of reading today. It is my day off, so I have things that must be done today. But I did spend a good portion of my morning reading. I haven't even eaten breakfast yet or drank coffee, and I need it if I'm gonna get through the day. So yeah, that's my update. I haven't read any of Beartown today, so I think I'm gonna like take a break from Will of the Many and continue on with that, because I'm only like 6% into Will of the Many right now. But I'm like at least almost 20% into Us Against You. So I feel like I should definitely be reading that one right now just because I made a bigger dent in it. I highly doubt, sadly, that I'm going to be able to finish one of these books in this vlog. We'll have to see. I don't know. Especially with like the Will of the Many, because like it seems like this magic system is not that hard to understand, but it's like very intricate in how and who get this power of will, and I think I need to really lock in and pay attention to that, and my brain and heart just isn't in that right now. But like I said, I'm enjoying the story enough to where like I know I will get into it as I get further, and I think it's just like the hardship of getting into a new fantasy and, you know, feeling like you're reading another language, because you basically are. I'm sure I'll get used to it as I continue, but I need coffee if I'm going to do that, honestly, and I need to start preparing for other things. But if I do end up reading something else, I will let you guys know later on. I know I have like all of these library holds, but I do really want to get back to reading The Vampire Lestat, especially because I watched the second episode yesterday and I have so many questions. And I know a lot of people, this is so off tangent, and I know that no one cares unless you watch The Vampire Lestat and Interview with the Vampire. Like, let me know what your thoughts are on the new season. I know a lot of people are very critical about how different it is from the first 2 seasons, but it honestly, because of how different it is, it makes me more interested in watching it, because of course it was going to be different. For those of you that don't know, the first 2 seasons are told in one other character's point of view, and this season is told in Lestat's point of view. And the first 2 seasons flowed differently. The style, the editing of the show was completely different. Hell, I would say even like the storytelling and the pacing was completely different than what we are getting in season 3. But because of like the little bits and pieces I know about Lestat as a character, just from like the show and now reading the book, it just makes me want to continue reading the book. So I might pick that up later today, because I haven't read it since like last week. So yeah, this vlog is very all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's the plan. I'll talk to you guys later if I have any updates. All right, guys, this is an update later in the day. I know, 2 updates in one day. Who am I feeling like? Whoa. I'm on chapter 14 of Us Against You right now, and I really have to say I'm having a really good time with this book, but I feel like this one's diving into the politics that come with the sport of hockey in this town. And as much as I enjoy learning about the different characters and meeting new characters because we're learning about like the behind the curtain side of the sport, I really just don't care about the politics of hockey. Sorry. Like, there are some things I can let like the series get away with when it comes to a sport that I don't care about, but like learning the ins and outs, like trying to figure out like, oh, the counselors of the city need the funds and you need the sponsors to do this, and this sponsor is corrupt but they're gonna do da. And I'm like, I'm a little not lost, because it's very easy to understand. I really have to congratulate not just Frederick Bachman but also the translator of these books, because these books are not written in English. I think that what's the translator's name? I think it's Neil Smith. Neil Smith does a really good job translating this book in a way where like it flows. You don't really get lost in the sauce of what's going on. Everything is straightforward. It's just I'm like failing to care about some aspects of the book while caring the most about others. Like these characters that I already got familiar with in the first book, they're still coming up, they still got stuff going on. But then when it cuts back to like these new characters, I'm like, why? Again, it's just like, why am I supposed to care? And I'm sure Frederick Bachman is going to turn it around to make it so I do care about this stuff. But right now, I think I'm still trying to find the book's way of putting all of these people that have nothing in common except for hockey together. This story in terms of pacing is exactly the same as the first one, where I feel like it's only been like maybe 2 days so far into the story, or maybe we're on the same night. I don't really know. I think we are. I think it's been the same night being told from like several different perspectives, and I'm like damn near 30% into the book. Really shows how slow the story moves, because everyone in this town has something to say about what's going on. And I think my favorite part about what Frederick Bachman does is illustrate that. Like, it's kind of like you're watching a show where you see like many different scenes take place in the span of a day, told from like different people's perspectives until like they all come together in the end to make sense. And that's kind of what reading the Beartown series feels like. It's like watching a show literally in your head. I'm really enjoying it. I'm getting really anxious though. This is how I felt reading the first one too, because it was like a slow build up to something horrific. And I'm scared to find out what the horrific thing is going to be in this book. So I've been kind of reading it off and on all day. I just got back home and I'm supposed to be meeting up with DJ so we can watch Love Island together tonight. If I feel like reading, I will read. I'm just gonna try to like decompress and lay down for a bit before I have like people come over. But I just want to update you guys on that. I'll probably end up talking to you guys tomorrow, because I can't guarantee that I will update you after Love Island, depending on how annoying this episode is gonna be. I'm not gonna disturb you with my takes on Love Island, or like, because I know that you guys don't want that. But the reason why it's been so hard for me to read, I kid you not, is because of like shows. All of these shows that I'm in the middle of. But Love Island is truly a commitment, and I don't even know if I want to stay committed with this cast. Like, they're stressing me out really bad. I might not read anything until tomorrow, so that's when I will talk to you. Good morning everyone, and welcome to what I am making the last day of this vlog, because I have been recording for at this point well over a week, and I feel like there's never gonna be an end to this video unless I just like actually make it end. It's Thursday, and so you already know what time it is. I'm gonna try to read for a majority of the day today. I've been on and off like for the past week, as you guys know, but I really do just want to lock in and read. I do have plans later, but like they shouldn't take long, that require for me to leave the house. I really don't want to, but I do need to fulfill those plans. So while I'm home, I want to make the most out of the time that I have just being unbothered and with my books. I got new earbuds. If anyone was wondering, I highly doubt any of you were, but I got new earbuds, and so I was able to finally continue reading The Heirs by Farida Abike Ayamide. I'm like 45% into it. I was listening to it when I was doing the dishes earlier. Yeah, this is like low-key like bar for bar a little like The Umbrella Academy, which isn't bad because I liked The Umbrella Academy when I watched it all those years ago. The only difference being, again, that like the kids in this book are prodigies, not like superheroes. They don't have their own specific power that makes them special. They're just really good at specific things. But yeah, the story, if you've seen The Umbrella Academy, I think you would like this book, because the characters I feel like are very different compared to the characters in the show. So it's not like a complete ripoff, but it's really good in my opinion. The audiobook isn't that long, it's only 10 hours, so I hope I can finish this before the end of the week. Like I said, I'm like already 45% into it, so not really worried about that. I have not read anything since the last time I updated you other than that though, and that again was picked back up this morning. I think I told you guys this before, but I really am in the mood to pick back up The Vampire Lestat, because with every episode I watch from the new season that has come out, I'm just really fascinated by how this is told in like a literary format. I'm already halfway into the book, so I can kind of see where they're getting glimpses and pieces for the show, but as they keep foreshadowing more of Lestat's past, I'm like, I need to finish this book. I need to finish this book. So yeah, I don't think I'll be finishing it today, because like I said, when I read that book, I'm very locked in because of just the way Anne Rice writes her books. It's very hard to like kind of read it at a normal pace for me, at least. I feel like I need to take every single thing in. I'm still in the middle of The Will of the Many and Us Against You, but I'm at the same parts I was at a few days ago. And now they want to mow the lawn. That's so helpful, guys. That is so helpful. I want to start Cobalt Red today just to say that I have started it, so I can at least say like I'm keeping up pace with all of my library books. I don't know what day they're due back. I don't really want to check, because then I feel like the deadline is more strict if I know what day I need to finish these on. Going at my own pace, as you guys can see, for better or worse. I do feel like as I continue reading different books, I am slowly getting in the mood to read. It's just like I don't feel like picking up a book every single day. Does that make sense? Like my reading has gotten progressively slower. But it's not that I'm not in the mood to read. Like I feel like every single time I pick up one of like the 4 or 5 books I'm in the middle of, I feel like I'm like in the mood to read, because I have different books for each of my moods, you know? I did order breakfast that's on the way, so once my breakfast comes, I am going to like chill for a bit, eat my food, drink my delicious coffee, but yeah, then I'm gonna go back to reading. So when that happens, I will update you guys. I don't really have any plans other than picking back up The Vampire Lestat right now, and if that changes, I will let you know. Let's see what we can make the most out of today. Okay everyone, it is now time to end out this vlog. I have a little over 100 pages left of The Vampire Lestat, and if I'm being honest, I don't think I'm going to finish the book still today. I know this book has dragged out for what, like 2 or 3 vlogs at this point. This will be in my June wrap up, I can guarantee. I just really don't feel like reading anymore today. One thing about me and my slumps, I know when I'm at my limit, because I'm at my limit by the time I even start a book. So the fact that I got over that hurdle and started a book is a feat within itself. But when I just know that my body is like, okay, you need to stop, I'm getting tired of this, let it go, I'm gonna stop. So I got to Marius's story. This is a character that I am not that familiar with. I think Marius has been brought up like maybe twice in the show, and I honestly didn't think I'd be getting his story in Lestat's book. That's one thing about this book. Because Lestat has been around the block a few centuries, he has kind of encountered every legendary immortal being in existence, and it's all getting told within 400 pages. And I don't know what I expected, but it really wasn't this. I don't know what I expected going into The Vampire Lestat, if I'm being honest. I will say I'm like kind of shocked that it's taking this long to get to like the present timeline, well, the present timeline of him being like a 1980s rock star, because that's how the book started off, and that was in like the first like 40 pages, and we have yet to get there yet, because his past life before that is just so dense. Like the history of Lestat is just, it's something else. So I'm like taking it in stride, but on top of that, like I said, I just did not expect to learn histories about like Armand, Marius, Akasha, because I'm sure we're gonna get to Akasha. She's been brought up, so that's fun. I'm sure I'm gonna learn more about her in Queen of the Damned though, so I'm not really worried about getting to her in Lestat's book. I gotta take my time with this because I'm learning about like so many different characters in Lestat's book that I'm kind of just like a little overwhelmed in the brain a bit. So I think that's why my body was like, okay, time to stop. I'm on chapter 7 of part whatever, but yeah, right now I'm just going to decompress. I'm gonna eat my almond butter banana toast that I made. Hell yeah. I hope that you guys enjoyed this very chaotic video. I say chaotic because I didn't read a full book. I kind of just read whatever I was in the mood for, what I thought would get me out of a reading slump. I don't know if it did, but like I said last night, or was it this morning? I don't know, time isn't real. But I do feel like as I read multiple books at once that have completely different like tones, styles of writing, different genres, I feel like keeping up the pace with that is ironically enough going to help me get out of a reading slump, reading like multiple books at the same time that are so vastly different from each other. I'm gonna try to do that as like June winds down, because I'm gonna be honest guys, I don't know if I'll be able to finish enough books this month for a wrap up. I mean, we'll just have to see, but so far I don't know. So I'm just gonna like take my time, go at my own pace with it, and hopefully it won't affect me too much. I don't know. And it's only the first month of summer. I'm gonna be going through this until summer ends. So I don't know, hopefully all the vlogs won't just be like this for the next few months, but like I said, we're just gonna have to take it in stride. If you did enjoy this, thank you so much. If you would like to follow me on my social media, it will be linked down in the description below. Tell me what you do to get out of reading slumps. Let me know your tips and tricks because I feel I might need them. Maybe down the line, who really knows? Yeah, if you guys have any books to recommend to help me get through a reading slump, that might also be very beneficial because I don't know if any of the books I'm currently reading are necessarily helping me get out of a reading slump, but they are putting me into the mood to read that specific book. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.